Hello, I'm playing Aether and Iron. In my last video, I could steal mom's gold and exchange that gold for this Aether core. Now, I'll go back to my home base and I'll give Nelly that Aether core to do something about the well expanding over and over.
The bartender here at Spritzen House serves up more than a stiff drink.
We have a very
Show me what you've got.
Frost!
So, this will be the last island.
We arrive back at the hole in the late evening. All I want to do is slope off to a bunk and slide into oblivion for a few hours. But Apollo and Sam want a debrief. It takes a few pots of coffee and some encouragement, but I recount the night's events as best I can. By the time I'm finished, rays of sunlight illuminate the room. Apollo leans forward in his seat while Sam leans back. Both are equally interested in the fate of their old enemy, but Apollo is eager, while Sam seems almost sad. Marm can't cause any trouble for Dreamland if she's not there. Exile seemed like the best option.
Sweetheart, Marm has killed or ruined more people over the course of her rotten life than we could ever know. How can we just let her leave?
We've done worse than kill her. We've sent her into the wider world with her tail between her legs, her power broken, her cash in our pockets. Even if she's alive, she can't exactly enjoy her twilight years.
What? Are you kidding? Sam, you know Marm. That wily old fox always has an ace up her sleeve. Who's to say she doesn't show up 5 years from now with a pack of Canadian mercenaries in tow?
Sophie knows better than to trust to luck. I think we can relax and let her handle it.
Okay then. I still don't like it, so I'll have to lump it.
I'm with Apollo on this. The Barons have got to learn they'll face consequences just like the rest of us. We should have made an example of Marm.
Who am I to argue with the fiery temper of the young? Just remember, we're not all on the front lines. There are others who will feel the sting from our actions.
Apollo, you've been giving Luca the evil eye ever since we got back. What gives?
Time to put the tiger on the table, eh? Very well. We've got a few questions about him.
Such as?
How committed to the cause is he, really?
He's aces in my book. A good man and a good ally. Don't tell me you suspect him of something underhanded. It's not in his nature.
I just don't want him leaving us in the lurch when his ledgemen call his name.
Gia, you have to understand. Joining the underground is serious business. It's a sacrifice. It means being part of something bigger than yourself and your people.
Luca's an unknown, and we have no room for doubt. I simply don't trust him, darling.
Luca's back is against the wall on this one. If the well isn't closed, Dreamland is heading straight into it. His #1 priority is his people, and his people are in Dreamland.
Darling, I've had spa days longer than you've known Luca. Once he decides Dreamland is out of danger, then what? Luca's an unknown, and we have no room for doubt. I simply don't trust him, darling.
If I were you, Hollywood, I'd start thinking a little less about what he can do for you, and think about what you can do for him.
Really? Why should I stick my neck out on the chopping block for a plug like him?
Between the two of them, Sophie and Luca are in a position to make things harder or easier for the underground. If you try and shut Luca out, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Maybe spread around a little of that movie star charm instead, eh, Apollo?
Okay, point taken. We'll let him in, but he's your responsibility. Got that?
That covers the broad strokes. Let's move on. Nellie, how does the Aether Core look? I wouldn't put it past Killmeyer to try and swindle us.
Professor Gardner and I have inspected it thoroughly. It's the genuine article, all right. We still need to install and test it, but it should work just fine according to our specifications.
Atta girl. One less power-mad Baron to worry about, and our well solutions well in hand. Get cracking, Doctor. What's next, Sam?
Gia, you've, interacted with a certain Mr. Blanc. We've contracted him to look into the Black Hat after Nellie. He's ready for a meet.
I've worked for him before, sure. I wouldn't say I trust him, but he pays on time and in full. That puts him head and shoulders above most in my racket.
Well, he's insisting on no radio, no courier, and an in-person meet. If he wants things this private, let's hope his info is pure dynamite.
I'm surprised Blanc agreed to meet. He's not the revolutionary type.
Sure, he's worked for the other team before, but he's discreet, has plenty of reach, and I'm told he stays bought. You hear what happened with Montclair?
The Prince of New York? Claimed to be some kind of old country blue blood, right? Ended badly, if I recall.
Right. Mr. Blanc dug up proof that his bona fides were anything but. Stopped him taking over in the lowers, and gave us the leverage to check the uppers barons who'd done business with him.
Knowing Blanc, I'm sure he came away from that deal with a few extra simoleons, too.
Oh, no doubt he kept the choicest bits of blackmail to himself just to feather his own nest. That's what I'd do.
All right. I'll head to the meet and keep my eyes open. Who knows? Might be nice for me to lead the conversation for once. Besides, I deserve answers about that group Dufresne is working for. I had to let him go back at Coney, which left me with a lot of unanswered questions.
Oh, please make sure to say hello to Mr. Blanc for me. I'm so grateful for his help getting me here.
No problem, sweetheart. If I don't remember, I'm sure Gia will.
Hold on there, Apollo. You're not planning on going to the meet yourself, are you?
Why not? I know the uppers better than anyone here. If anyone can get in to see Mr. Blanc without getting pinched, it's yours truly.
Your famous face might give you away. Let Giovanna and I take care of it.
Look who's talking. You might not be a movie star, but the Rat King is just as well known in the papers as I am. Or don't you think the infamous Iron Hand meeting with an underworld figure will grab headlines?
Apollo, we can't keep anything on the QT with you around. We'd be spotted in no time.
Mobbed by my adoring fans, no doubt.
I could use a little excitement. Work is work, and fun is fun. But the right mission could be both.
Fine, fine. 2 votes to 1 in favor of the codger. Just make sure you two don't screw this up, okay?
We'll be back before you know it.
Excellent! By the time you two return, we should have the device in good working order. I can't wait to tell the professor.
Miss?
Without Marm in the picture, I imagine things back home are looking different.
The Does aren't the only one rebuilding their lives. Community caught the brunt of her expansions. Now, they've got breathing room to recover. We're racking up over time to fix what she did.
And Diane?
We talked things over before I left. I floated leaving town, seeing the rest of the lowers. She told me she'd start tying up loose ends so we could leave on a fresh slate. Diane's given up a lot for me to hang around feeling sorry for myself. When we're done here, I'd like to make it up to her.
Settling in all right, big guy?
Not my first time away from home for a job. And from the sounds of it, I won't be sitting on these mitts for long. From what I hear, the underground's got their sights on more than the well. They planning on taking the whole damn city?
Knowing Hollywood, they might be. But they won't be taking on anyone if we don't fix the well.
Damn right. You've got me for that, at least.
You and Diane, you two have been together a while, right? Tell me a bit about it. He grunts, but he doesn't tell me to drop it.
First time we met was at a party. I was a tongue-tied shrimp. She was a knockout.
Love at first sight?
Nah, I'd just chased off her scumbag ex. He got some hits in, so I was feeling lightheaded at the time, but she made it feel worth it.
Lucas smiles. It might not have been love at first sight, but it had been the initial spark in the engine.
Diane's been there for a lot. My boxing career, me and Marco, and what I did after. We got into fights about it, you know?
Really? Looking at you two interact, it's hard to believe.
No relationship's perfect. She stood by me, but it didn't mean she didn't sometimes resent me. I did my time, then chose to throw myself into doing what Marco would have done. I don't think she minded sticking around the hall, but I picked my brother's dream over making one for us. That's gotta change. Take care.
Yes, darling?
Marm might have been the one at the top, but you were the Doe's leader. You think Dreamland can handle itself without you?
As well as can be expected. Dreamland started with Marm, and her beloved Doze ran her off. Once the shock passes, I'm sure we'll suddenly find angry loyalists, nostalgic for her tender care.
And then what? Dreamland gets another coup to put Marm back?
I doubt it. Mar may make things difficult for us from a distance, but she's far less persuasive over the phone. There will be costs, but it's nothing we can't handle. In the meantime, I've instructed my people to focus on recovery. Make donations, cede territory, monitor the Doze, and ensure Winnie is cared for.
A lot happened in Dreamland. How are you holding up?
Much better, darling. You know, it's not often someone gives me a gift. No strings attached.
It wasn't just me. Everyone else chipped in too. And Gardner's the first one who noticed you seemed down.
Is that so? Well, I'll have to thank them later then. See you soon, darling.
What do you need? See ya.
Hello, Gia. Good luck out there.
Ah, you're back. Till next time.
This? You know where to find me.
Yes, darling? Take care.
Hello.
The way you scientists tell it, the Heights is supposed to be the new city of a greater future. Only the best and brightest are allowed up there. What got you your invite?
Extensive testing and a bit of luck. The Heights organizers decided they didn't want to rebuild the lowers and uppers. That meant there could be no barons, and no buying your way in. When Olympus Park was looking for staff, I just happened to fit the role. Someone with passable knowledge of Aethonics, who valued merit, and who could speak on their behalf.
Must have been a pretty cushy offer. You don't sound too cut up about having to leave your old life behind.
I admit the generous salary bump and prestige helped. However, if that's all I wanted, I could have gone anywhere.
A bright passion fills Gardner's eyes, softening the air around him. It was love of science that could rival Nellie's.
Our grandfathers first ascended to the skies to find a better future. I don't think they'd see the world around us and be proud of it. But I believe that future is still out there. People like Eleanor, the Heights, Olympus Park, they're all a part of figuring out how we get there. Until next time.
How can I help?
How's Daisy coming along?
Oh, Gia! Come here! Come here! You have to see this.
The kid leads me to the device. I've seen Heights tech in promo reels, but they always felt too fantastical to be real. In the face of the glowing blue tower, I'm forced to reevaluate my worldview.
Professor Gardner and I installed the Aether core as soon as we could. We've started tests to simulate Daisy's effects on the well, and the results so far align with our hypotheses. It's surprisingly simple. The well has an enormous gravitational force. Meanwhile, Daisy produces an opposing force, causing the particles to diffuse. This will weaken the well, causing it to shrink. Well, what do you think?
It's amazing, Principessa. You really did it. I leave her beaming brighter than all the gizmos in her lab, leaving me wondering if that's how I ever looked when Zio told me good job.
Let me know if there's anything I can do to help.
How can I help? Until next time.
Well, well.
Oh, now we can buy 13 AP engine.
Have a look. Happy hunting.
Hello.
You make many trips over to Nation's Crusade?
Plenty of folk making the trip. Pilgrims, I suppose.
It's not all one way, is it? There must be people looking to leave.
What makes you say that?
The Axe is cracking down on all kinds of things. Life's hard out there. He looks at me as though I were a child, not with condescension, but with a wistful awe at the innocence of youth.
Hard everywhere, miss. That's life.
We've gotten to know one another pretty well, right?
Oh, so, miss. As those things go.
I think it's time you told me what happened. What's this big secret you're always carrying around like a sack of flour? It's weighing you down, Mr. Throg. A bolt of suspicion cuts through his clouded eyes. He looks at me hard, gauging me like I'm a troubling pink glaze on the horizon he ought to steer clear from.
Not a pretty story.
They never are. Throg's eyes narrow, and he seems to conclude it's better to tear the bandage off the wound and get it over with.
Ferry accident. Way back, mind. Before your time. My fault. Terrible.
That's awful.
City took my stripes. Ella May, she left. No work anymore. Except down here. Well, usually.
I put a hand on his arm, and he flinches instinctively, like a wounded old hound. I keep my voice soft to show the old man my gratitude. For what it's worth, you're the best captain I ever sailed with.
Bye now.
What do you need? Be careful out there.
Nellie seems to be applying her vast know-how in the construction of some kind of Aether-powered gizmo. I recognize some parts salvaged from Cress's garage, but some pieces and the ultimate function of the thing are alien to me.
This one is larger now. This one was small. In my memory.
How can I help? Come back soon.
Back already, huh? Both hands on the wheel.
Now I can drop Luca here. Okay. There were some useful items in this shop. Like those ones or this. But before I buy something here,
Have a look.
I'd like to check
So long.
whether I can truly lost my access onto Dreamland. Oh, yes. I lost my access onto Dreamland.
Zdravo.
This one has weight of 4. Let's see whether I can equip these items.
Looking for something in particular? Don't be a stranger.
No. Okay, I see. This storage is too heavy to use for now. And I can buy this one.
Take your time, but do not linger. Happy hunting.
Sell this engine.
Giovanna. Just got a new shipment in. Just got a new shipment in. Sola.
The uppers are another world only vaguely resembling the one I know. The gutters are empty of garbage, the walls free of graffiti. My stomach does a flip-flop. I'm a square peg in a landscape of round holes here.
A bittersweet feeling returning to the uppers. It's easy on the eyes, and a nice change of pace. But it makes me feel...
Where would you rather be, if you had the choice?
The underground demands a great deal. My family understands, but it's hard on me. Us. Time doesn't stand still for anyone.
I check my watch. We should head to the glass cage now. Mr. Blanc won't stick around to wait for us if we're late. I don't know if it's something I pick up in a mirror or the corner of my eye, but I feel a familiar itch between my shoulders. I check, and sure enough, we have a tail on us. Better move. Fast. We're being followed. Keep an eye on the mirror. I'm going to try and lose them in traffic.
I'm looking now, and... yes, I see our tail. Do what you have to do.
Starting with a casual lane change, I follow it up with a swerve back into the thick of traffic and across to the opposite end, zipping in and out, accelerating past the crush I'm helping to exacerbate. Hang on. I pull every trick out of the book to lose our tail, weaving in and out of cars, trucks, and street features. I drive like I'm possessed, a grin plastered on my face. It's all so easy. I lose our tail with no trouble. I still feel like we're being watched. Know anyone who would have you followed?
Not usually. Barons aren't crazy about my being in their neighborhoods, and I know I'm on a few lookout lists. But this feels different.
Probably just nerves. The coast looks clear for now. Let's get to the glass cage. Suddenly, a burst of static blares over the radio. I wasn't expecting a call. The even, measured tones of Mr. Blanc's voice are punctuated with hisses of white noise.
Bravo. Silver. The Celtic Flame.
It's an old piece of bootlegging code. Security has been breached and the opposition is armed. He's called out Hugh Street as the new rendezvous. Acknowledged. There is another burst of static and the voice is gone. I pull a quick U-turn and start heading toward Hugh Street. Looks like a change of venue.
Gia, when you're an Aether as long as I've been, you get an ear for a generator's hum. Sometimes, the quiet is a bad sign.
I know what you mean, but we'll have to take a chance. We need to know what he knows.
No harm in being careful.
A cold feeling burns in my gut, like a shot of raw bathtub gin. I can't fathom what would make Blanc abandon his plans this way. Whatever his reason, it's serious business. Shadows envelop the meeting spot on Hugh Street. A narrow afterthought of an alley leads into a sort of postage stamp courtyard. Only each wall is the looming cold edifice of a modern building. The buildings here cast deep shadows like bottomless pits. My mouth feels sticky and sour. Tastes like dread. I get out of the car. I grip my gun in my pocket like the hand of a childhood crush. It's so quiet out here, my heartbeat is crashing jazz cymbals in my eardrums.
Blanc's always been waiting when we've met in the past. This isn't normal. Maybe the smart move is to cut and run.
Try to relax a little, huh? We're early. He's the punctual type. Despite my casual tone, I can't settle down. We must have been here an hour already. I check my watch. It's been barely 5 minutes. When Mr. Blanc suddenly speaks from the shadows, Sam spins to one side, showing that what he lacks in speed, he's made up for in planning. He's holding a gun along his hip. I stick my hands in my pockets, my nerves screaming, but manage to pull off cool disinterest. Like my Zio always said, if they pull a fast one on you, act like you expected it all along.
Relax, Mr. Lowe. Put away the gun and let's talk.
The uppers are different at night. All of that pristine concrete and glass, so shiny and bright in the day, looms like jail cell walls after lights out. The open, starry sky somehow still feels too low, too close. I'm trapped. Nothing but darkness within. I guess nobody's paying for overtime tonight.
That's close enough, Randazzo.
Mr. Blanc, glad to see you in the flesh. I was becoming concerned for your welfare.
An unnecessary kindness, but an appreciated one. As you can see, I am here, and well enough to conduct our business.
Beyond the corona of cigarette smoke, I can make out even less of Mr. Blanc's mug than usual. Something's not right here. This was a desperation play. He chose it knowing that whoever is after him wouldn't expect him to pick this place. Too many windows, too many places for hidden eyes. A weak ploy. The glass cage was compromised, wasn't it? Someone was waiting for you. You're giving us your findings because you're trying to get out.
Astute, Randazzo.
With painful slowness, I edge closer. The man likes his anonymity, but curiosity moves my feet before I can stop them. The tip of his cigarette flares with light as he takes a long draw. Despite his businesslike tone, his hand is shaking slightly with the effort. His skin looks pale. Is he sweating? You are hurt.
Not another step, Randazzo.
Until today, I would have described Blanc as flawless, if cold. A consummate professional, always in control. Tonight, the cracks are showing. And they're showing that things are wrong. Deeply wrong.
I have the information you paid for.
Let's hear it. Quickly, so we can get out of the open.
There is not a safe place in New York. I will be leaving soon. I'd recommend the same for you all.
Are you serious? What about your network? What about the glass cage?
My enterprises are not your concern.
The ember of Blanc's cigarette shakes in his hands. He takes a long, hungry drag. All the more reason for you to cough up the information and get under cover.
Very well. My investigations have led me to a group called the Trust. It is an organization that has existed as long as the field of Aether development. They have more resources than all of the baronies combined. They wield immeasurable influence, fantastic wealth, and they hold sway over each and every baron in New York. They have stayed secret thus far by suborning, bribing, or killing any who have dared to challenge them.
That sounds ridiculous. Are you putting me on? As soon as the words escape my mouth, I know he's dead serious. But it's too ludicrous to fathom. I can't seem to fully catch my breath.
Ignore them at your peril. It would appear you have stepped into the deep end without realizing it, Randazzo. And you've dragged the rest of us along with you.
Okay, let's say that there really is a shadowy organization secretly pulling the strings in the city. Sounds far-fetched to me. What's their purpose?
Just as in every other period in human history, those who already hold wealth and influence often wish to keep it to themselves. All in the name of the greater good, naturally.
Whatever it takes to keep control in their hands, I'm sure. People like this only stop themselves from eating one another when they fear discovery.
But of course.
If these people are so all-knowing and all-powerful, why bother with Nellie? They could just discredit her, ruin her rep.
I provide information, not conjecture. They are simply opposed to Reinhardt's presence here.
If they're so powerful, why haven't they succeeded yet?
Perhaps you're the wrench in their works, Randazzo.
Are the Trusts the ones responsible for spreading Red Aether technology? The rally in White Street looms, the carbonized stink of human ashes filling my nostrils. My gut lurches as I watch Killmeyer's Island crash into dreamland. I shiver involuntarily. This is madness.
So the Barons went along with this trust? Eli with his red aether weapons? Marm using it to power her island consolidation? Can this really be true? Are you pulling our leg, Blanc?
This organization knows just how to push the Barons. They've been battling over the Trust's scraps for decades. Why would they stop now?
If Mom knew she was being manipulated this way, it would have killed her. She spent her entire life aiming to become a big fish in Dreamland, never knowing she was just another minnow.
The pieces all fit, but it still sounds so far-fetched.
A conspiracy of this scope? It's an unbelievable tale. Proof is required before we can act. I find it hard to believe that every Baron has been so easily manipulated.
I have proof, yes. Circumstances beyond my control brought me here before I had time to collect it.
Mr. Blanc, you have always delivered the goods in the past, despite our differences. But you must understand, we can't return empty-handed. We need hard evidence.
We're professionals, and we've worked with Mr. Blanc here before. If the goods aren't here, we just have to go get them, right?
Just so, Randazzo.
Mr. Blanc reaches into his breast pocket slowly. His motion hitches, and despite his iron demeanor, he can't help but grimace in pain.
The proof. It is in my office. I will let...
Crack of thunder. The ember falls from Mr. Blanc's lips. The shot takes him off his feet, and he hits the wall, shoulder painting a streak behind him. Something metallic drops from his hand and clanks to the ground.
Mr. Blanc!
Mustering what must be the last of his strength, Mr. Blanc pushes off the wall and staggers around the corner, out of sight. More shots. A scream. The world gone slow suddenly comes alive full speed again. My companions and I surrounded by the whip-crack of bullets, hitting the pavement all around us.
Get to the car!
As if through a wad of thick cotton, I can hear my people yelling at me, but I stoop to grab what was dropped. It's a heavy brass key. I clutch the key like a talisman and throw myself to the ground, presenting as small a target as possible. Miraculously, none of the shots hit me, but it's only a matter of time.
Gia, get in the back!
I hurl myself headlong into the open door, the car's armor offering me a temporary haven as bullets spang off the chassis. The cordite-ridden air is sweet in my starved lungs, shuddering breath after shuddering breath. The driver floors it, but I scramble behind the wheel. Now's not the time for politeness.
Gia, follow my directions exactly. I know a place.
Seriously?
There's a hidden Aether tunnel 3 blocks from here. We'll be out of their sight, and they'll drive right by us. You'll see.
This is it. We need to lose or blast our pursuers before their reinforcements can show up on the scene.
I hope you have some tricks up your sleeve, Gia, because they're gaining on us.
Let's see how they do out on the streets.
Five AP for 3 rounds. This is quite powerful. I had to use this one to Sophie. Anyway, let's try to attack some of them.
can't take much more of this.
So I can energize without using this module. So I don't need to equip this one because I can just heal and energize. I see. What happens if I use this one twice? Oh. So I can energize my ally twice because I have energized module, and with repair my passive will energize my allies. So with heal and energize module, my Sophie has been energized twice. I see.
hear more cars in the distance, racing towards us. We're out of time. Sam, where's that tunnel? Sam leans over and honks the car's horn 4 times in a row, like machine gun fire. A code?
Head straight into the wall. They'll never see it coming.
What? I opened my mouth to protest as driving full speed into a brick wall was not on my list of plans for this evening. But a glimpse of an Aether symbol prepares me for an unexpected leap of faith. I push the pedal to the floorboard. Just before impact, the wall snaps open, and then shut again a scarce 5 seconds later, just after we pass through. The road drops at an angle steep enough to put my heart in my throat, but it levels out quick enough that I don't scrape the fender. Gradually, the sounds of the chase outside fade. We are safe, for now.
Back to the drawing board. We are down a reliable source of information, and worse still, we must return to the underground empty-handed.
We're not sunk just yet. He gave me this. I'm guessing this unlocks something in Mr. Blanc's office at the glass cage.
That makes sense. Let's move, Gia. Keep an eye out, though. I'm certain they won't give up just yet.
And I need recover. Maybe another bug. I recovered my health without spending any items. Okay. But my recovery is not updated here, I think.
We have to watch our step as we enter what was once one of the ritziest hotspots in the uppers. Wind whistles through the shattered glass floor. Glass crunches under every footfall. This place was stripped. Whoever did this wanted to find Mr. Blanc's secrets, but the anger they left behind is evident. My heart lurches with hope. Did they do this out of frustration? Maybe they didn't find what they were after. If they'd found what they were looking for, they wouldn't have used a wrecking ball on the place. Spread out. Make it quick.
Let's look around. Find out where that key goes.
We need to hurry. They probably left someone to stake the place out, which means they'll be coming in as soon as they report in for backup. A spiderweb of widening cracks lead to an enormous hole smashed in the floor. Oddly fitting for a lair built on secrets, though I doubt Mr. Blanc would appreciate the parallel. The bar is a complete loss. I've seen this place weather brawls, gunfights, and even a fallen chandelier, but it's beyond repair now. It's been completely stripped, every panel smashed open. This is a dead end. The wall behind the bar is riddled with buckshot. A series of shotgun blasts tore through the expensive bottles like tissue paper. I hope Morgan wasn't working tonight. I've been in front of this bar enough times that seeing it ransacked freezes my veins. Maybe there's something of value left in all that wreckage, but it does feel like grave robbing. I scan the bottles, looking for anything that might put a few bills in my pocket. Among all the smashed glass and rot gut, I spot a hidden panel knocked ajar in the scuffle. Inside, there's a bottle of expensive champagne Mr. Blanc probably kept squirreled away to woo the high rollers. I pocket it before moving on. Mr. Blanc's booth hasn't escaped the carnage either. I look across its burst upholstery, the smashed table.
These look like the marks of a crowbar. Someone was trying to force their way through this wall. See here? This looks a lot like some of the removable walls in a free home.
Let me have a look. I wrap my knuckles along the wall until I find a spot that doesn't sound right. I run my fingertips around the paneling. I find a recess concealed by shadows. The key slides home through a thin layer of plaster. The wall slides back, silent and well-oiled. A passageway opens into the depths. We've found the hidden office. Sneaky bastard.
Shall we?
As we enter, I flip a switch on the inside of the hallway. The wall behind us closes as the room lights up. It's quiet in here. Blanc must have had it soundproofed. We're safe in here. For now. Something in this room is worth killing and dying for. Knowing that makes this more like a personal mausoleum than a study. This is clearly where Blanc spent most of his time, among the memories of a secret life. I know this banner. It's for a mercenary group in the uppers, the Blacktails. As nasty a crew as you'll find anywhere. They'd cut your throat for a nickel and sit down to a plate of spaghetti in the same breath. Mr. Blanc's private arsenal. The weapons here tell stories of warfare, of clandestine affairs, of time spent in Germany, the Americas, the Congo. Blanc either had connections, or his hands were soaked with blood. This shelf houses various fangs and paws from exotic animals. A series of scorched stones labeled Great War are also shelved here, each of them dated. There are a few empty spots. This shelf and the shelf behind it are crammed full of files. Each file contains information on a different New York VIP. Blanc was sitting on a cache of solid gold, or pure gelignite, depending on your view. There are enough names listed here to fill a city block. I don't have time to go through all of them. I had better stick to names I recognize, or I'll be here all night. Mr. Blanc was willing to work with Apollo, Sam, and the rest of us, so he must have checked us out thoroughly. I want to see what he knows.
Samuel Ironhand Lowe, born and raised an Aether rat. Once attempted to separate himself from his youthful origins before the Terriers put an end to his plan. Took control of the fading Undercity League. Deft negotiation work found success in multiple baronies. Close, but secretive association with Apollo Diamond. Potential value. Master negotiator. Engenders trust. Exacting nature with an eye for detail. Exploitable weakness. Overly sentimental. Will do anything for the rats. Alcoholic.
It's sobering to see your life's work summed up that way, but he wasn't far off. Once, I thought there was a better life for me out there. I was wrong. The Terriers knew even before I did that they needed the underclass of the Aetherians to make the machine run. That was when I knew I had to work for my people, instead of running away from them.
Apollo Diamond, born Moish Zachariah Diamond to a tailor and a library assistant in the Lowers. Maintains a public persona as an affluent and charming man about town, film star, and philanthropist. A carefully constructed front, built after years of struggle in local theater and print advertisement. It was Moish's agent who suggested burying his Jewish origins and taking his working name. After his big break starring in the successful war serial About Face, Diamond took advantage of his newfound fame to expand his repertoire. During his rise, began a second career as an urban resistance fighter. Potential value. Communique smuggling to other islands. Access to information on resistance cells. Exploitable weakness. Bravado. Diamond can be goaded into rash action if he feels it is in character.
Mr. Blanc's file on Nellie is slim, although it doesn't take long to find out why.
Scientific prodigy. Fast-tracked into the Helicline Institute at 16, most probably by members of the Trust. Connected to the Trust's development of Red Aether. Trusted Fellow by 19. Honorary doctorate from NYU. Reinhardt has reached out to me about a clandestine job of some sort. I must remember to update my file on her once I learn more.
It appears there was more here, but it's been removed, and a bookmark placed here. Interesting.
Cress Carter, expert mechanic. Free home of origin unclear. Lost an arm while saving an engineer during a disaster in her youth. Parents took on her contract debt, allowing her to leave. Known associate of both Samuel Ironhand Lowe and Apollo Diamond. Has been seen of late in the company of Gia H-Shot Randazzo. Gifted mechanic with limited capabilities in clandestine operations. Potential value. Illegal vehicle customizations. Superficial interactions with Aether rats. Exploitable weakness. Guilt at having survived and being a burden on her parents.
Creep really thought he had me pigeonholed, huh? My life is not that cut and dried.
Of course it isn't. This is all one guy's perspective.
Right-hand woman to Magdalene Weiss and former leader of the Dreamland Does. Currently acting as Dreamland liaison to the Underground. Very much Marm's creature up until her defection. Psychologically fascinating. Sulzer believes that she is independent and strong, and cannot see that Weiss has molded her into her own image. Sulzer's rise through the ranks accelerated after foiling an attempt on Weiss's life. Despite rumbling that she was in on the assassination attempt, Sulzer's stock only rose in Weiss's eyes. It remains to be seen if Sulzer will actually make any waves under her own power. Many, including her former Doe sisters, are waiting to see if she is truly capable on her own. Potential value. Information on Does. Leverage against Killmeyer. Access to Weiss's remaining Dreamland assets. Exploitable weakness. Vanity. Can be controlled by questioning the validity of her reputation.
Giovanna, darling. I seem to have caught a chill. Let me borrow that file. I want to start a nice warm fire.
Luca Mazzi, leader of Dreamland's Legion, is a man who has never realized his capabilities. Stuck in a loop of guilt and shame over the death of his brother Marco, he holds a powerful urge to self-flagellate. Often gets in his own way, simple-mindedly prioritizing the general welfare of his people over any agenda that might affect meaningful change. Believes he is upholding his brother's legacy. Ironically, though loath to put his people at risk, seems to favor the block-with-your-face style of street fighting in the boxing ring. Can weather a great deal of physical punishment. Potential value. Support against Dreamland Does. Transportation of bulk goods. Information on shipping schedules. Exploitable weakness. Caretaker. A threat to the Legion, real or invented, can tie him up indefinitely.
Seized by my desire to see Mr. Blanc's true opinion of me, I decide to search out my own name. I'm surprised to see that my file is part of a larger folder, including files on my Zio and needles.
Giovanna Randazzo, infamously known as 8-Shot Randazzo. An interesting study. Despite a semi-larcenous choice of career, she displays a curious flexibility of mind. Seems to approach every challenge with a fresh set of solutions, alternately opting between using force, wits, or trusting to her skills. May prove to be a viable partner as I contemplate retirement. Conduct embraces a wide spectrum. Murdered John Valentine in cold blood after the death of her uncle, but also regularly gives succor to the marginalized and performs other selfless acts. Recent endeavors include her role in bringing down Elijah Tellingast and masterminding the Pandemonium heist alongside a loose confederation of newly made associates. Potential value. Possible partnership in future after I am satisfied of her mettle. Once she finally comes to terms with the loss of her uncle, will become either a danger or an inestimable resource. Exploitable weakness. Shaky morality. Has selected a life of apathy against her own better instincts following the shock of her uncle's death. Vulnerable to manipulations toward egotism or altruism.
I ball my fists and lean against the shelf, taking care to breathe deeply for nearly a full minute. I can't tell if Mr. Blanc's profile on me is groundless speculation or not. I wait for my hands to stop shaking. It takes a while. The file on my Uncle Alfonso is older than the others. The paper's slightly yellowed. Still, my curiosity gets the better of me.
I first dealt with Alfonso Randazzo following my return to the city, in the turbulent days following the disaster. The lockdowns around the city provided ample opportunities for an experienced smuggler. Despite his death at the hands of the ham-handed John Valentine, his lessons regarding professionalism and honor were taken to heart by his niece, Giovanna, so his life was not spent in vain.
There's one final page in the file outlining my Zio's strengths and weaknesses. It has presumably been kept there for the purposes of thoroughness. It's older and more faded than the rest of the file.
Potential value. Established smuggling channels throughout the city, made dependable by an unimpeachable code of honor, forgotten by many in the current day. Exploitable weakness. Honor. Randazzo matured during a period when honor still existed among thieves. In this era of power-mad barons and ruthless sycophants, he cannot hope to exist for long.
I can hardly swallow past the lump in my throat. I knew my uncle was too honorable for this world, but for someone else to see it so clearly, to confirm that idea, opens up that wound just a little bit.
Peter Portnoy, born Pyotr Portnoy, known on the street as Needles, a small-time smuggler working out of White Street's Raymond district. Ex-partner, romantic, possibly, of Gia H. Randazzo, textile specialist. Portnoy was involved in the caper that claimed the life of Alfonso Randazzo, incurring lasting injuries from the job along the way. This job provided the friction point that ended his partnership with Gia Randazzo.
Even after all this time, it stings.
In recent days, Portnoy has been smuggling in and out of White Street, before and after the advent of the Civil War. Made a great score in the Hogmanay Hall job. See file. Usefulness. Specific jobs involving textile manufacture or fashion. Exploitable weakness. Gia Randazzo. The man fosters both love and hate for his ex-partner. Using her against him would provide leverage.
Maybe he hates me, but at least he's still alive.
Eli Tillinghast, a man of conviction and tragedy. His reputation as a bloodthirsty warrior is unimpeachable. His destruction of the Ferdinand Mill spelled doom for the boroughs. Decline came quickly after the Water Waste War. Tillinghast choked on the administration of his own hard-won spoils. A maddening end for a man of action, leading him to his own dependence and death by Red Aether. Following Tillinghast's demise at the hands of Gia Randazzo, White Street is embroiled in internecine conflict. With many members of the Old Guard dead or in hiding, White Street appears hungry for new blood.
Unlike the rest of the file, I also see a hastily handwritten note on scratch paper attached. An afterthought?
E.T. contacted by OP after Santa Anita bombing. Red A appeared in E.T.'s hands soon after. No coincidence.
Who is this OP?
Magdalene Weiss, aka Marm, is a name synonymous with Dreamland. It would actually be far quicker to name the criminal enterprises she did not have a hand in than the reverse. Growing her own gang, the Does, into an unstoppable force, Weiss has since gone on to rule Dreamland with an iron fist. Yet, in her dotage, Weiss grew obsessed with control, causing unease in her ranks. A recent plot headed by Gia Randazzo and associates, in conjunction with Sophie Sulzer and the Does, ousted Weiss from her Dreamland throne. Weiss, exiled from the city she loved so well, is currently regrouping in Canada, carried by offshore caches under her control. Sulzer has her under clandestine observation.
A hastily written note on the back of a torn-out ledger sheet sticks out. It's cryptic, but I think I get the gist of it.
MW contacted by OP shortly after Pandemonium Blaze. Red Aether appeared soon thereafter. A pattern is emerging. Millard Meeks, aka the Glass Baron of Astoria Bay, knows better than to interfere with my operations here or elsewhere. The deal we have worked out benefits us both, and he is just intelligent enough to honor our pact of mutual ignorance. I have observed the letter of our agreement and hidden away my material outlining his child's parentage, as well as the source of the glass fortune. In the event of my death or forced exile resulting from his defaulting on our contract, the material is concealed within the oversized painting of the Baron in the Great Hall of the Glass Mansion, within the frame itself. When viewed under black light, The text etched in silver chloride ink reveals a series of account numbers to offshore banks. Any competent forensic accountant will find his holdings to be less than legitimate. Beatrix Wilcox, the so-called Baroness of the Black Tails. My own personal history with this woman, this savior, avenger, and monster, is painful to recount. Yet recount it I must. Information is information.
The rest of the entry has been recorded in a cipher, and I can't find a code key anywhere. It looks as though Mr. Blanc has hidden Wilcox's secrets from everyone except himself. This shelf is identical to the others, save for a single book sticking out almost 1.5 inches from the others. It bothers me. I don't believe the fastidious Mr. Blanc would leave such an imperfection in his lair. Instinctively, I start pulling books out of the shelf, letting them spill to the ground higgledy-piggledy. Recessed into the back of the shelf, I find a hidden safe. An expensive liquor collection filled with rare vintages. My Zio would have marveled at the bottles for a full second before making off with the entire set. The bottles are arranged by date rather than name for some reason. Scattered papers covered in spilled ink surround a half-packed satchel containing even more papers. Looks like he wasn't expecting trouble when it showed up at his door. Sam is murmuring to himself softly, rubbing the back of his neck. His eyes flick between the weapon collection and the Black Tails banner again and again.
So Mr. Blanc was associated with those murderers? I can't believe I shook his hand. I wish I'd never met him. He deserved his death, in fear and violence. Disgusting.
The Black Tails are bastards, sure, but the Underground has worked with shady folks before. Killmeyer, hell, even me. We've all got a past.
There are levels. You have been a good friend to the Aethenians, to Cress, to the Underground, and more. The Black Tails, they're just jackals.
You're not wrong, but he died getting us this key. He could have skipped town and we'd be none the wiser. I'd like to think he had his own code. Maybe he had his own reasons for leaving the Black Tails.
We'll never know, but don't expect me to shed a tear. A good deed here and there can't make up for that kind of butchery. Forgive me for saying so, but I'm almost glad he's gone.
The safe has a combination lock with a backup keyhole. It looks, much like Mr. Blanc himself, implacable in its flawlessness. It's a tough old bastard. Blanc wrote everything down. He knew that memory is fallible. Maybe the combination is tied to something here, in his private office. My eyes pass over Mr. Blanc's liquor collection, organized by date. I try several combinations of dates with the lock, with no success. It looks like he just liked sorting his liquor that way. I go back to the shelves and take a good look at the scorched stones labeled Great War. More importantly, I jot down the dates engraved on each one of the stones, noting also the gaps of the missing stones. With some trial and error, I figure out that the gaps in the stones are counters for which digits are to be used from each stone. On my third attempt, the safe pops open with a faint hiss. With slightly shaking fingers, I pry open the lid of the safe like a pirate's treasure. Only instead of rubies or doubloons, this safe is stuffed with files. Mr. Blanc's most secret stash. Got it.
Excellent, Gia. Let's have a look at those files.
I pull out the stack of files with both hands and fan them out over the desk. What we're holding here is pure dynamite.
Keep an eye out for the file on Red Aether, Gia. I want to know which barons have been given access to it, and how they're using it.
I'm cycling through file folders when my eyes are drawn to a file labeled Tobias Dufresne. Finally, some answers.
Tobias Dufresne, the Hanged Man. Beatrix Wilcox's old hunting dog. I never had to go up against him, thankfully. Retirement didn't agree with his former blacktail, and he made it known in no uncertain terms. Dufresne's history is one that remains hidden. Every informant, every spy I sent to ferret out his secrets met a bloody end. After the 5th such attempt, Dufresne himself was waiting for me, in my private booth. Dufresne poured me a tumbler of whiskey, and recounted for me the details of what has come to be known as the Night of the Underline Revenant. It was more confession than conversation. I dare not recount the details of his rampage, but the broad strokes. After being asked to perform a job that went against his code, he was hung by his neck from the tow line of an island and left for dead. Three days later, he boarded a ferry off the island, carrying a sack filled with the tongues of every underboss who voted for his sentence of death. The Baron himself was left hanging from that same tow line. I suspect that the Trust aided Dufresne in his quest of vengeance to acquire his allegiance. He never revealed why he sought me out, but I read between the lines. He was warning me to stay out of his affairs.
I paused to reflect. I don't know whether or not I would have taken the Trust's aid and pledged to them if they had helped me with my own revenge after Valentine's murder. If it weren't for my friends, I might have. A few more folders in, I spy Nellie's name, as well as the name Olympus Park. Maybe the gaps in Nellie's file can be filled in here?
Receiving a hand-delivered note from anyone in the Heights is unusual enough. But to receive a note from Reinhardt, a rising star in Olympus Park, was quite shocking. Even I have few contacts within the Heights. In the note, Reinhardt mentioned to me that her life was in danger, and she believed the bombing of Olympus Park was specifically done to halt her research. I immediately started my own investigation. While I have few agents in the Heights, the Trust has them everywhere. I was able to get the information I needed through some unusual methods. It was from these arrangements that I was able to acquire a rubbing of a special seal. I believe it to be the secret seal of the Trust. It must not be shown to anyone, as its value as an identifier is irreplaceable.
I look over the carbon copy, paying attention to the indicated seal. I know I've seen it before somewhere, but I can't place when or where. I stare at it until it's burned into my memory. If Mr. Blanc says to keep it secret, it's likely a secret worth killing over. My hackles raise. For all I know, he was shot over this rubbing. I quickly hide the file from the others. After my examination of the top and bottom 2/3 of the pile, I settle down to flip through the middle portion. I go through one by one before I finally find the record I'm after. The dissemination of red aether.
The red aether events in White Street and Dreamland were far too close together for me to consider them accidental leaks. My informants across the baronies, once told what to look for, produced proof of more. Every barony bribed with red aether held the following traits in common. They were all located in the lowers, and every one was granted red aether following an action that destabilized the lowers. Further analysis revealed that the relationship between the Trust and the lowers barons goes back decades, to the founding of each barony. The Trust has been king-making for decades.
A chill runs down my spine. I'm way in over my head here. Every lowers baron who has emerged as an unassailable iron fist has done so for this Shadow Cabal? The strings pulled here are so far above me that I can't even see them. How does a group have this much control over the Barons? How many Elis and Marms had the Trust created? I've got what we're after. The evidence we need. The Trust supplied White Street, Dreamland, and others with red Aether. Maybe Nellie can help us make sense of this.
Good. We have what we came for. Let's have a quick peek.
As I busy myself gathering files to take with us, Sam has taken the red Aether file and begun his perusal. By the time I'm finished, he is staring at his hands, deep in thought. Sam? Penny for your thoughts?
You know, Gia, Apollo and I went into this with our eyes wide open. We don't always see eye to eye, and our approaches are different, but we believe in helping people. Through our efforts, I believe we have done good for our communities at large, including my Aethaniers. But to know that these Trust people were operating under our noses all along, I knew the task would be difficult, that this wickedness might outlive me, but never the movement. But I'm a negotiator, Gia. These people, they're a shadow. How does one negotiate with a shadow?
Sam, if you're tempted to change tactics too much, it may be too hard to start from scratch. Maybe you can't negotiate with the Trust. So negotiate with the people instead. The Trust operates in darkness, so shine a light. Show the people what they're up against.
Given your talents for violence and fast action, I'm surprised to hear you say that, Gia. You may be coming around to a more measured way of doing things. We have what we came for. Let's take what we can and get going.
We've accomplished what we set out to do. Time to get back to the hole. We arrive back at the lighthouse just before sunrise. My adrenaline and nerve have both bottomed out completely. I find a bunk to crash in and sleep for almost 14 hours. We all meet up later that evening to discuss our findings. Getting everyone up to speed on the information Mr. Blanc provided us proves no easy task. The Trust, Dufresne, the red Aether, everything.
Poor Mr. Blanc. He was so very gallant. Even knowing assassins were after him, he stayed to the end to finish his work. To help us.
These Trust people seem like they hold all the cards. And we've lost one of our best sources. Tell us you found something we can use.
Nellie, here is the file Mr. Blanc had on red Aether. This is what we were after. Why don't you take a good look at it and let us know what you find? I hand Nellie the file. Gradually, the lines of sorrow fade from her unlined face as she becomes embroiled in the work, her analytical mind giving context to the raw information we couldn't absorb. Just as quickly, her pensive face turns to one of shock and alarm. She slams the file down on the table. She moves with such sharp shock that Apollo and I grab for our guns instinctively.
This is monstrous. Unbelievable. Gia, this is why the well has been growing. It's worse than we ever could have imagined.
Nellie, focus. What is it you're trying to say? What's happening?
It's the spread and concentration of the energy, to be exact. Aether affects the atmosphere, you see. Usually, proper refinement removes the harmful effects, by and large. If it didn't, the city would have been torn out of the sky years ago. Even General Eli's weapon, on its own, should barely have an impact. But with multiple baronies using red Aether, the effects are multiplied exponentially. The energies are tearing the well open day by day. It's like throwing gasoline over a fire.
Okay, slow down, Nellie. Breathe. So, if the lower baronies are using red Aether and this is causing the well to worsen, how do we fix it?
Short of everyone agreeing to stop using red Aether, I suppose. If we were to refine red Aether into harmonic Aether, that would do it.
Take a new weapon of power away from the barons? Seems unlikely. Maybe we could go the harmonic Aether route given enough time, but that's something only you can do right now, correct?
Right, but we still have Daisy primed to fix the well. At the very least, that should buy us time to work out a more permanent solution.
If red Aether is so dangerous, why spread it? If the Trust has a good thing going influencing the lowers, why are they intentionally feeding the well?
That's what's so alarming. It makes no sense at all. I can't make heads or tails of why someone would do such a thing so deliberately. Why be so reckless? Are they trying to destroy the lowers?
Something is nagging at my memory. I tune Nellie out as I search for a scrap of information. Something I heard or saw earlier in the evening. I suddenly remember something Mr. Blanc said to us in the alley before the attack. Something about the Trust and their moves against Nellie.
This organization knows just how to push the Barons. They've been battling over the Trust's scraps for decades. Why would they stop now?
Maybe they are. Maybe they want the Barons to destroy each other.
But why?
All those people.
I don't know. We're still missing something. But some of it feels right. They want the lowers too focused on one another to stop whatever's coming.
Whatever the case, if there are more baronies with red Aether than we thought, we're running out of time.
Okay then. How much time do we need to buy you before the device is ready to roll out?
Oh, the device is ready. The issue is one of proximity. In order to fix as much of the well as possible, to really complete the job, we need to move closer. In actual fact...
Nellie pauses as she rolls her eyes skyward, mumbling math under her breath.
Yes. For best results, we will have to travel within the well itself. Extremely dangerous, yes, but also necessary.
A sudden flash from the window blinds us all with white light. I pull my gun, but the spots in my eyes keep me from finding a target.
Uh-oh.
By the time I'm seeing anything but spots, whoever was at the window is long gone. I strain my ears and hear rapid footsteps fading away into the distance.
Get them!
Apollo is the first out the door. My feet pound asphalt in an all-out sprint when I run headlong into Cress.
Whoa, 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 where's the fire? I just saw Apollo taking off like a bat out of hell. Mind telling me what's going on?
No time, Cress. Someone spied on the meeting. Some guy with a camera. Gotta stop him.
Go then. I'll let the others know.
I dash off, but I can hear Cress call out to me before I'm out of earshot.
There are only so many places he can go, Gia. We'll get him.
Sorry, Gia. I've triple-checked all the greenhouses, but there's no sign of him.
Surprisingly, not here. So, this place is okay.
Haven't found the creep with the camera yet, miss.
Some people laugh when adults are afraid of the dark. From what Cress has gone through, I'd be more worried if she wasn't.
No one here, Gia.
As I approach the ferry, I recognize Mr. Throg. In his grip is my quarry, held by the scruff of the neck. The kid has a camera on a strap and a notepad sticking out of his pocket.
Hey, hands off, Charlie!
Nobody on the ferry that I don't recognize. Rules.
Aw, come on, Chief. I need to lay low. I've got some toughies after me.
Who do we have here?
Stowaway.
Hey, I got a name. It's Benny. Benny Castellano. My friends call me Big Mouth.
Big Mouth, huh? Should I have heard of you?
Maybe you read my byline. I'm a reporter for the Midtown Crier, and you got no right to keep out the press.
It's just a kid, maybe 110 soaking wet. And I bet my back teeth not more than 15 years old. If he has pictures, though, we might be sunk. How should I play this?
I can retry smooth talk check. So I'll try smooth talker.
Relax, kid. You're not in dreamland. You won't get hung from the underline or thrown over the side just for taking a picture or two. Let's talk.
Is that so? We got a witness here. You swear?
Promise. I threw my back out heaving a kid over the side yesterday.
You're kidding, right? She's kidding.
Benny finally calms down enough to get a sentence out. The kid's got moxie, I'll give him that.
Okay, so I'm a reporter, see? I got a lead on a potential scoop, and I heard some folks talking about the lighthouse. Sounds like a story to me. So I stake out the joint. So you and your buddies show up and start a long talk. Red Aether, the well, hot dog, I think. Headline story, here I come. I take the shot, but I forgot about the flash. Rookie mistake.
Damn it. The kid knows way too much to just let him go. I don't want the underground to deal with this squirt the way they wanted with the Coney Island leak. I need to get him out of here. All right, Benny. I'm going to give you a chance to talk your way out of this. If you come with me, you might even get a story out of it.
Sure. I got nothing to hide.
Benny sits under the lights, fearless with the energy of youth. I envy him that. Sam, Apollo, Nellie, Cress, and I take turns interrogating the kid.
So I hear talk about a secret underground running around making trouble for some barons. They show up, and when they make noise, barons go poof. I figure there's a story in it. I start trailing their activities and end up here. I ask around, hear a few stories about unusual traffic to the lighthouse. Lots of people coming in and out all hours, so I stake it out.
How long have you been watching us, Benny?
Not long. A couple meetings now. I heard something about Mom Weiss, something about Red Aether, secret society stuff. Hey, are you the real Apollo Diamond? Can I get a photo? Tabloids will pay big for a candid shot.
Kid, forget the shot. If you want to leave this room alive, you keep your trap shut, but good. Or we shut it for you. Permanently.
Aw, don't climb up your own leg over it, Pops. Besides, I already got a line on a better scoop. Hey, watch it!
While Benny is spouting off, Cress upends his bag on the table, its contents clattering and scattering to all corners. Nellie and Cress go over every item. After this, I'm mostly convinced Benny's on the level. There's nothing incriminating here. Spare notepads, film, pens, magazines, and chewing gum. How about you, Nellie? Anything interesting? Nellie is peering closely at a photograph, barely developed. Her perfect nails dig into the paper, tearing at the fibers.
Hey, watch it with those!
Look at this! Do you have any idea what this is?
Nellie passes me the photograph. I scrutinize it carefully. I'm no scientist, but I've read the odd article here and there and wandered around Nellie's lab more than once. I think I recognize the device in the picture. Nellie, this looks kind of like that thing you're building in the lab. Some kind of amplifier?
Exactly! It's just what we need! This is an Aether amplifier. Powerful one, too, from the looks of it. It could amplify Daisy's range and power so we can fix the well without needing to go inside it. Excuse me, Benjamin, was it? Where did you see this device?
That thing? I saw it in Nation's Crusade. It was locked away in one of their missions, at the base of a tower. I snuck in after hours and I snapped some photos. Dunno what it is, but it looked important. And it's Benito, doll.
Well, it's simple then, isn't it? We go to Nation's Crusade, explain the situation, and convince the Baron to let us use their amplifier.
The room goes silent, except for the rumble of the island's lifters and the rhythmic spinning of the fan over the table.
What? What am I missing?
Nellie, dear child, what you describe as our ideal solution, yes. But the Baron of Nation's Crusade? She is not always reasonable.
No point in dressing it up. Annie Sullivan Walker believes she's been appointed by God to raise Nation's Crusade to prominence. She can't be reasoned with. We've tried.
They're not wrong. Annie has a way about her. She speaks directly to her people's hearts. They love her for it. They'll do anything for her. She's also the only one with a long-surviving barony out by the well.
What Cress isn't saying is that she's a few lines short of a screenplay. Cress, I know you've been close to them in the past, but these days, Annie's people are fanatical.
I heard about Annie's takeover of Nation's Crusade a few years back. She's got a reputation as touched, either by God or by madness. Would she be open to negotiation?
Doubtful, but she might be willing. Her mission is committed to helping the needy. She even sends her devotees to provide relief aid to other baronies, though they use that as an excuse to recruit more to their cause.
Those missions are used to spread Annie's propaganda and lure people into her cult, darling. She's worse than a talent agent. Annie's doing her best to raise a massive flock by hook or crook, all in the name of being neighborly, of course.
Cress, I didn't know you spent time in Nation's Crusade. What's the story there?
It was after I left my free home. I wasn't sure where to go or what to do. Nation's Crusade, for all their faults, have always been kind to Aetherneers looking to start over. Sam set me up with them when things went bad.
The least I could do, Chris. You deserved it.
No, Sam, don't blow it off. The least you could have done was nothing. And plenty of people offer that. Same with Nation's Crusade. They got me work in a garage, fixed me up with my arm. From what I've heard, though, Nation's Crusade is a whole different animal now. They may be taken by force when they can't convert. I hear Annie is different now, too.
Okay, let's say we head to Nation's Crusade to lay hands on this amplifier. Are we sure it will work with Daisy?
You have a point. I'll need to examine the amplifier in person to make sure it's compatible. And if Benjamin could sneak in, I'm sure we can.
Ha! Don't sell me that cheap, sweetheart. I had to tap some contacts and went through 3 cartons of smokes to get in that far. Also, the Bucketheads have built a bunch of new missions. It's a whole new ballgame.
The kid's right. Annie's been expanding in a big way from what I've heard.
But you know which mission is the right one, don't you, Benny?
Yeah. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. And I'll even show it to you. For a price.
Look, kid, you sure it's a good idea throwing your weight around like this? We've gone up against barons before and won. Not much challenge in sending you over the ledge if it comes to it.
You're not serious.
Aren't I?
Oh boy.
Be a good boy and show us the mission, and we'll throw you a few crumbs. Step out of line, and it's the big adios.
Okay, ma'am. I'm along for the ride. Say, I was hanging on to this little number just in case. Maybe you can use it.
We accept, Benito, but we have conditions. First, keep your mouth shut about the underground. Second, G is in charge. Don't question her, just do what she says. Third, you may as well get comfortable. You, Apollo, and I are gonna have a long talk about what we can do for one another. Put the camera away.
Aw, nuts.
Okay, so now we will visit Nations Crusade? Nations Crusade, a new island, and maybe we have to fight against the Baron ruling that island, and now I have to choose one more line to learn. Oh, not now. I have to unlock. I have one more talent to unlock for full 2 lines. Okay. Let's not think too much for now. Okay, I'll continue this game in my next video. Thank you. See you next time.